In recent days, a shocking discovery has surprised some very powerful people. An ancient prophecy, written by a woman who couldn't see, has been found. This prophecy was written in blood and carries a frightening mystery. What it announced for 2025 left those who read it very afraid. Tonight, I'm going to tell you the message I'm about to reveal. It's not just an ordinary warning, it's a message alerting you to something divine that has been hidden until now. For a long time now, some people have been saying that they can see the future, but many of them can't. Many of them are just imposters. Many of them are just imposters and deceivers who want fame and money. However, among them, there are some special people who stand out for their true ability to see things. These people leave behind visions that are unsettling and often real. You may know Nostradamus, the well-known prophet who performed mysterious spells. These spells predicted important events in history, such as the rise of Hitler, whom he referred to as his own. You may have heard about Baba Vanga, the blind mystic from the Balkans who predicted the 11th of September attacks before they happened. However, there is another person whose predictions are so accurate that governments keep them secret. Get ready to learn a truth that could change our view of the future. There is a seer whose name has been removed from history. Her prophecies were so strong that they couldn't be publicized to everyone. These visions, which are very disturbing, were treated as state secrets by governments who were afraid of what she might say. Today, I'm going to talk about these revelations that the world wanted to hide. These prophecies were found in 2023 in an ancient monastery in the mountains of Bulgaria. These writings, confirmed by famous experts, contain predictions so accurate that they surprised even the most unbelieving people. The writer of these texts, an enigmatic seer who died in 1982, seems to have gone to great lengths to warn people. But what do we really know about this seer who is full of mystery? According to the information we have, she lived alone, as if she were in a very quiet place, far from modern life. Her visions, as told by the few people who saw her, appeared to her at times of change. They came with handwritten words in a handwriting that often trembled. The researchers found a similar idea in her opinions. They think that a change is going to happen that can't be avoided. This change creates a difference between the old world and the new. She always said that humanity is at an important moment. This is a point of no return. Now, every choice we make is more important than before. The experts who analyzed these predictions noticed disturbing similarities with prophetic texts from various cultures. They saw it in the 4 lines of Nostradamus and also in ancient opus writings. Among these ideas, one written in 1973 is very striking. When the twin giants fall into the new world, this will begin a period of 20 years. 2 years later, the great waters will rise and the sky will be ablaze. These enigmatic words have been understood as a mention of a great discovery under the Antarctic ice. There are already rumors that expeditions of scientists have found strange things in this area. It also warns that this discovery will cause a sequence of events that could jeopardize the stability of our world. The sky will change its appearance and people will have to turn to themselves to find the answers. This phrase serves as a warning that the future is not yet over. This mysterious phrase has made experts curious because of new observations in space. They include strange signals that came from far away in the universe and were found at the end of 2024. Today, these words sound very clear. The twin giants are the World Trade Center. It collapsed during the 11th of September attacks, which had a huge impact on the planet. Exactly 22 years later, the world faced very heavy flooding and strange weather events. This left scientists confused and people at a loss. However, what she saw in 2025 left her so shaken that some words in her text are almost impossible to read. In this text, she talks about a great awakening that will shake the foundations of human society. Under the ice of Antarctica, something will rewrite human history, but this discovery will trigger a series of events that will threaten the very survival of our species. In December 2024, astronomers detected a mysterious signal coming from the depths of space. A pattern that defies all natural explanations. The second sign is currently unfolding before our eyes, an unprecedented alignment of the world's economic systems around a totally unforeseen new paradigm. The third sign is due to manifest in exactly 73 days. This is where the prophecy reaches its most terrifying point. This is the manuscript. A discovery will be made in the Vatican's secret archives hidden for more than 2,000 years will reveal a truth so profound that it will be unveiled. 000 years will reveal a truth so profound that it will shake the foundations of the world's great religions. But that's only the beginning. The seer also predicts a major breakthrough in quantum computing that will revolutionize our very understanding of reality. She speaks of a machine capable of piercing the walls of time, giving certain organizations the power to predict the future with frightening accuracy. But this power comes with a colossal danger. She sets a fateful date, August 15, 2025, on which, according to her, humanity will have to do something about the future. She thinks that people will have to make a decision that will define not only their future, but also the survival of the human species. The text talks about the union of artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and events in space that will lead humanity to a very important situation. This situation is called the definitive crossroads. This makes this prediction all the more impressive. What makes this prophecy even more impressive is the exact information it gives about our world today. These details were hard to think of in 1982. It talks about mobile phones that can think like people. It also mentions a digital currency that controls countries. These frightening predictions make what she saw for 2025 that much more serious. The prophecy brings to light a hidden conflict that is active behind world politics. This conflict involves weapons, but also information and technology. According to her texts, this conflict will reach its peak at the end of 2025. This will result in what she calls the Great Breakthrough. But that's not all. The Seer comments on a scientific discovery. This discovery could change a lot about what we know about consciousness and death. She herself talks about experiments that will show the existence of what she calls a bridge between worlds. This will happen at the same time as a series of events in the sky that challenge our physics models. The document contains clear warnings about genetic engineering and artificial intelligence. It talks about a time when these technologies come together to create something that people can't understand. However, this advance could come at a high cost, which could take away our very humanity. What is very worrying is that these predictions coincide with ancient texts from various cultures. The OPI prophecies, the teachings of Nostradamus, and even difficult parts of the Bible all seem to talk about this same moment in history. It talks about a time when people will have to face a great challenge. The woman who predicts the future warns of a series of events. These events will begin with something being found in the depths of the Pacific Ocean. According to her, this discovery will cause a crisis. This crisis will cause people to look at their origins and also at their future at the same time. She talks about technologies that can change reality itself. But what is frightening is the explanation of a decision that people will have to make. She talks about two paths. One path is to what she calls the Great Ascension. The other path leads to the final darkness. She says that the choice will not be made by world leaders or scientists. The choice will be made by ordinary people, like you and me. Although the predictions are bad, the Seer brings a message of hope. She talks about a change that will come to help us face the difficulties that are coming. The Seer says that there will be an awakening in people's consciousness, which will begin in a surprising way. According to her writings, this awakening has already begun, but many people still don't realize it. She gives clear guidelines for those who want to get through these difficult times. This is the Seer's message. She talks about the importance of maintaining relationships between people, even in a world that is becoming more virtual. She also emphasizes the need to protect old knowledge in the face of rapid change. The written text has parts that seem to speak to our times in a surprising way. It talks about a world in which it is harder to realize what is true. Reality seems to be changing, like sand slipping through your fingers. Reality seems to slip through our fingers like sand. But she also gives clues on how to see what is true in the midst of what is false. When we get close to this important moment, certain patterns become clear and can't be missed. The pattern of technological advances, environmental transformations, and social changes corresponds exactly to these descriptions. She speaks of a window, a short period during which humanity can prepare for what is to come. According to her calculations, this window began to close at the beginning of 2024. We are now at what she describes as the moment of choice, and this is what gives us chills. She describes exactly this moment. She speaks of a moment when her words would reach millions of people through a medium that did not exist in her lifetime. She describes a moment when her words would reach millions of people through a medium that didn't exist in her life. She describes a moment when her words would reach millions of people through a medium that didn't exist in her life. She describes a moment when her words would reach millions of people through a medium that didn't exist in her life. You are reading this, and the crucial role it plays in what is to come. The choice she speaks of is not only collective, it is deeply personal. Each one of us, she says, will have to face our own moment of truth. The Seer's words echo through time. But it is crucial to understand that these warnings are not intended to frighten us, but to prepare us. The manuscript insists on the importance of not giving in to fear. Fear says, it is the most powerful weapon of all. It says that fear is the most powerful weapon of those who seek to divide humanity. On the other hand, awareness and enlightened action are the keys to navigating the storms to come. She describes a rapidly changing world in which the boundaries between the real and the artificial are becoming blurred. Technological advances, while impressive, are a double-edged sword. They promise a future of infinite possibilities, but they also run the risk of dehumanizing those who are unprepared. The Seer warns that the real danger comes not from the machines themselves, but from the way we choose to live and work in the world. The real danger comes not from the machines themselves, but from the way we choose to use them, a choice that, according to her, will determine whether these technologies will serve us well. The manuscript also speaks of a growing divide in human societies and warns that this divide will be exploited to sow chaos and divert attention from the real issues. But it also offers us a voice to follow the clairvoyant's insistence on the importance of reconnecting with our humanity, our communities, and even nature. She calls for a spiritual rebirth, a return to values that transcend materiality and remind us of what unites us. She also predicts a series of celestial signs that will mark the coming months. These phenomena, according to her, will not only be of a spiritual nature, but also of a spiritual nature. The heavens, she says, will become a mirror that reflects the unstable but potential state of humanity. These signs will be powerful reminders that, despite the challenges, we are all connected by a common destiny. Another key point of the prophecies is the redefinition of our relationship with time. The manuscript explains that time, as we understand it, is only a limited perception of the events that we consider to be. This vision, although difficult to grasp, is essential to understanding the urgency of these warnings. Everything we do today can bring results we didn't expect in the future. The Seer not only made predictions about disasters. These texts also talk about the risks of technology. She mentions on several occasions the emergence of machines capable of surpassing human intelligence. She writes, "But the use we will make of them." She evokes a critical moment when artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, and cosmic events will converge to force humanity to choose between ascension or oblivion. This choice, according to her, will not depend on elites or governments, but on the collective and individual actions of each person. In another passage, she describes a period she calls the time of awakening. She speaks of a network of connected individuals around the world linked by a common consciousness. The awakened, she says, will be the guides in the darkness of the future. Their light will be discreet but necessary. These words are particularly striking in our time, when the truth seems to be lost in a sea of disinformation. Finally, the visionary calls for a personal awakening. She reminds us that each of us, at our own level, has a role to play in the great story of humanity. This role does not depend on our status, our possessions, or our influence, but on our ability to remain faithful to what is right and true. She insists on the fact that, in order to change the world, we must first change ourselves. Collective transformation begins with an inner transformation. When you read this text, think that you are not alone. Other people in different parts of the world are also hearing this call. This willingness to prepare, unite, and act, this connection of people aware of the world, is the real force that will help us face the problems to come.